Have you ever wanted to see the Daily Detroit studio where we produce the show every day? How about connect and commune with your fellow listeners and community members? Well, we're swinging open our doors on Saturday, July 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our street front studio in Techtown. Come to Detroit's living room, have a coffee, a donut, and let's talk Detroit. The event is free, but we do ask you to sign up on Eventbrite if you can, so we know how much food to order. Search for Daily Detroit on Eventbrite or check the show notes for a link. Cannot wait to see you. Hello, I'm Jer Stays, and this is your Daily Detroit for Monday, July 7th, 2025. Now, I have always been a boat nerd, even as a kid, but I never really understood how our port works. Mark Schrupp of the Detroit-Wayne County Port Authority breaks it all down for us, the history, the cargo, and its importance to our region. Plus, we get into some exciting stuff like the upcoming Tall Ships event hitting Detroit for the first time in many years. Mark gives us the details on these majestic sailing vessels coming to our waterfront and how you can see them up close. So if you're interested in Detroit's maritime industry or just love some cool ships, this is an episode you won't want to miss.
Daily Detroit is brought to you by the community. Support our work at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
Joining me at the table at the Mackinac Policy Conference at the Grand Hotel is Mark Schrupp. He's with the Detroit-Wayne County Port Authority. Welcome to Daily Detroit.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So here's the thing. I am a boat nerd. I was mentioning this before we started recording. When I was a kid, I would get the newspaper, find out when the ships are going to go by, go down to the park by my grandmother's house, watch all of it. But I didn't even myself realize that we had a port authority. So why don't we talk to people about what really that is?
Sure. In 1978, the Detroit-Wayne County Port Authority was created, and we're relatively young and a small port authority compared to the coastal ports. We're more of an economic development agency that promotes the use of the waterways for cargo movement. The Port of Detroit is really a collection of about 18 cargo terminals that bring in about 10 million tons of cargo per year. And this is all for our manufacturing and road building, lots of iron ore and coal, fuel for our ships and our region. And so the Port Authority really is out there to support those businesses and get grants for infrastructure improvements and to help educate the people about the importance of maritime for our region. In fact, when you think about it, Detroit wouldn't be what it is without the Detroit River. The auto industry would not have emerged here because all those cars had to be built with steel, and to get those raw materials here, you needed boats and you need a waterfront. And so that's how we became the Motor City. It was maritime.
I think a lot of people don't realize that. They think about why would Henry Ford stay here? That whole thing. And it's because they could get what they needed to make the stuff.
Oh, yeah. You needed these 1,000-footers to bring iron ore from the Upper Peninsula, and you needed to be along the water. There weren't roads, there weren't railroads, and so the only way to get that material here was on the waterways.
So I'm curious, where are approximately these cargo terminals? I didn't even think about this.
Sure. If you go along the Detroit River, west of the Ambassador Bridge, that's where our cargo terminals start. We have 5 cement terminals along the way there. And then if you go just past Zug Island, where the Rouge River enters the Detroit River, and you go up the Rouge, you'll end up at the Ford Rouge plant, which is our largest cargo terminal. 2 million tons of iron ore per year is brought there so that they can make steel.
Wow.
And all along the Rouge River, on both sides, you have cargo terminals. There's cement, there's Detroit Salt, Marathon has a terminal, and this is where all of that industrial cargo comes in. We have a general cargo dock at the Detroit-Wayne County Port Authority terminal, the old Boblo building.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Detroit-Wayne County Port Authority terminal, and right now cement is coming in. There's another general cargo terminal where big slabs of steel come in from Europe, and coil and other things that are used in manufacturing. And so it's quite diverse and robust. One thing we don't have is containers. We're not a container terminal. We're not like those coastal ports bringing in containers of TVs from all over the world.
I think stereotypically that's what a lot of people think about, those super container ships that are gigantic. Those things are huge.
And they can't get into the Great Lakes, but ocean-going ships do get in, but they're limited in size with the St. Lawrence Seaway lock system. And
okay.
So we get lots of imports of project cargo, windmill blades, and other things come in through the Seaway. And then we also export a lot of agricultural products through the Seaway, mostly from the upper Great Lakes. But we're trying to promote more exports of Michigan agriculture products through the Port of Detroit and out to the rest of the world.
What are some of the key products that come through there for agriculture?
Well, grain and corn and other bulk materials.
Bulk materials, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. So you work as kind of the coordinating organization, and then you also do this economic development work.
That's correct.
So let's talk about that economic development work.
So we look at the port constituents. We also look at what some of these properties could be. I mean, the Port of Detroit has shrunk a lot since the mid-'60s when most of the auto production happened here in Metro Detroit. So, with the shrinkage of production here, some of those terminals have gone away. And so we have 3 former steel plants along the waterfront. U.S. Steel have shut down. Detroit Edison had a terminal on the waterfront where they generated power. And so there's about 1,300 acres of vacant industrial property along the riverfront. And so one of the things we're working on is to reimagine and repurpose all of those properties, some for maritime use and some for just manufacturing. And so we're working closely with the state and some of the local jurisdictions to find new ways to use those properties because right now they're vacant. They used to employ lots of people, but it's a great opportunity to repurpose and take advantage of our proximity to the water, 3 rail lines and 3 interstate highways. We are positioned to be a major logistics hub here in Detroit.
What kind of logistics and items would you like to see come through? Like if you were to paint like a big the dream board for Mark, right? Like what would you love to see somebody invest in to make happen here?
Well, one of our top targets is to create an agricultural export facility right on the riverfront. We are also exploring Navy shipyard maintenance. There's a big push to improve U.S. shipbuilding and ship repair here in the Great Lakes, so we're positioning that. We're also open to other kinds of light manufacturing, auto production. We aren't going to push containers unless there's demand for it. But if Amazon wanted to put a container facility right on the waterfront, we'd look at it.
So when you think about what's ahead, what are you most excited about with all of this? Because, obviously people think about recreation and all these other things, but you're right. Throughout our history, maritime has been so important.
Well, I grew up in Detroit, and when I was a kid, I would walk down to the riverfront on the east side towards Belle Isle, and all of it was industrial back then. And
yeah,
so
I remember.
We didn't have much of a recreational waterfront. So over the last 30 or 40 years, most of that industrial riverfront on the east side has been converted to recreational, and it's beautiful, and it's award-winning. The Riverwalk is fantastic. And so I think we have a great balance between the recreational uses, and I think you're going to see a lot more housing built along the riverfront, a lot more entertainment venues and other kinds of recreational opportunities. But on the west riverfront, west of the Ambassador Bridge, that's still heavily industrial, but there's opportunities for reimagining some of those older properties. And so we're working to redevelop those, attract new businesses here to the metro area because they're job creators, and we need to keep our residents employed.
For sure. So we talked a lot about industrial uses, redevelopment, all these like things, but let's talk fun stuff. I mean, not the other stuff isn't fun, but this is tall ships, and I'm very much into this.
Oh, absolutely. We're really excited. This will be the first time in 24 years that Metro Detroiters will be able to see the return of tall ships, these majestic sailing vessels that grace the waterways. They come to the Great Lakes every few years, but it's been a long time since they were in Detroit. August 8th through the 10th, they'll be here. We'll have 4 of these majestic tall ships docked along the Riverwalk at our facility. People will have a chance to board the ships and take sail away events. So, yeah, we're really excited.
And so people know your facility is right there, right by the Rensen, I believe, right? You see like Port Authority on it?
If you've been on the Riverwalk, you've walked right past our facility. It's a 2-story glass structure. We have a dock out front. You see cruise ships there all summer, dinner cruises. And this summer, we're hosting the 4 tall ships that will be there August 8th through 10th. You can purchase tickets to board the ships. And if you're just walking along the Riverwalk, you can see the ships as well. It's a family-friendly event, perfect for all ages. If you're a sailing enthusiast, a history buff, or just looking for a memorable summer experience, this is a great event.
Well, and folks, this is 2 days after my birthday.
Well,
so I'm going to have to go to this.
You absolutely have to.
I will be out there. But I'm going to wear a captain's hat.
Absolutely.
I have to.
And when you're there, you can purchase a Sail Detroit captain's hat, too.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Well, and that facility is so beautiful along there, and it's just really cool. I've been to a couple of events over there. Mm-hmm. Just so many cool things happening right there.
It's very vibrant. Almost every day we've got something going on. We have weddings, business events, and other kinds of government events and meetings and things. So we're right in the middle of everything. This summer we'll host 70 cruise ships. These are huge luxury ships going through the Great Lakes. So
some of them are outside the window right now.
Absolutely.
I saw and it's crazy. These things are so big that at least up here, they actually have like docking boats. I had no idea that was going to be a thing up here.
Yeah, no, they can't even get to the dock. They're so deep. In Detroit, they pull right up to our dock, and travelers from all over the world get off and spend a great time in Detroit. Experiencing our world-class museums, and we're one of the most popular destinations on the Great Lakes. So
really?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Mark Schrupp, I will see you next in a sailor's outfit on one of those tall ships. I'm looking forward to it in August. I'll make sure to put a link to everything in the show notes because people need to check this out. These are the kind of cool events that I think just bring a lot of attention to Detroit.
Well, and we think it may sell out fast, so please make sure folks visit sailddetroit.org/tickets. They start at $20 for adults. We have early bird pricing through July 1st. So get your tickets and come on out and have a great time.
Awesome. Well, Mark Schrupp of the Detroit Wayne County Port Authority, I am so glad that you stopped by the table and indulge a little bit of my boat nerdery.
Absolutely.
Feedback, as always, dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211 if you want to leave a voicemail. I'm Jer Stays. Thanks so much for listening. Remember that you are somebody, and I'll see you around Detroit.